What's happening, fellas? Now that's a test ride I did not want to end. This thing is an absolute joy to ride, and it defies description. I'll do my best, but it's a 350cc two-stroke with the J&R power pipes on it. My friend Gary Smith built this from the ground up. He said he had 500. I asked him how much time did he have in it. He goes about 500 hours labor. He's a machinist. He handcrafted many of the components on here, including the R1, fitting the R1 Yamaha. The front end on this thing, the brakes on this are light years better than what originally came on this bike. It's a Yamaha R1 front end. The gas tank on it is actually an S2 350 gas tank from here up, but the top of it was cut off of a Kawasaki Ninja 250 and handcrafted and welded. He's a master craftsman machinist, aircraft quality machinist, and he spent quite a bit of time putting this thing together. The rear tailpiece here is a cafe style with the twin, looks almost like a jet engine fighter taillight in here with these small turn signals. Just a kick-ass piece. If you're thinking of buying something to do AHRMA road racing, this bike's basically ready to take to the track performance-wise. It's just incredible. A lot of the components are brand new on it, including the brakes, the front ends off the R1, the clip-on handlebars, the triple clamps, the headlight mounts, the front turn signals, the levers. Has a full R1 brake system here, including the master cylinder, the brake levers. Just a fantastic piece. The small billet style mirrors that are on here. Paint job's an absolute 10. The entire bike was taken right down to the frame, complete nut and bolt crafted into what you see right here. The tires are obviously new. The brakes are new. The frame was sanded down and professionally repainted. The tank was professionally repainted. The engine was repainted. The cases were split. The cranks, everything. Gary did everything on this bike. Bored the top end. He actually ran it with the slip-on K&N filters, but it wouldn't rev out cleanly, so he put the factory air box back on there. He said it ran a lot better with that on there. I guess sometimes too much air isn't a good thing. So this is the actual original factory air box restored to brand new. The carbs are completely rebuilt. The throttle cables are new. You can see the fit and finish on the cylinder, and the entire engine looks like brand new because it's completely rebuilt. The J&R pipes have a very unique sound to them, which I couldn't get enough of. It was kind of intoxicating riding this thing. The shocks are brand new. Rear tires new. The rear brakes are new. You can see they're adjusted all the way out. They haven't even adjusted in. The chain and sprockets are new. Basically completely dismantled. Nut and bolt restoration, completely customized from the ground up. Study the pictures. Watch the video a couple times, and if you have any questions, give us a call, 860-454-7024. Take a look. Can you zoom in on this piece over here? This it's a 6-ounce flask that you can put your oil in, your premix oil, because the oil injector isn't set up. It's set up for premix, so you just dump that into there, and you put 2 gallons of gas in it, and you're off to the races. So you can control the perfect fuel to gas mixture. All the hardware on the engine looks to be brand new, as does the cylinder head, jugs. Everything's refurbished, rebuilt, or replaced. You see the hardware for holding the swing arm on. The chrome's in beautiful shape on it. Just a kick-ass piece, very unique. Now, if you were to build one of these, if you called any speed shop and said, I want you to take an S2 350 down to the frame, completely rebuild the motor, put an R1 front end on it, handcraft the gas tank and the tailpiece, new shocks, and everything I mentioned, you'd be looking at, well, hundreds of hours of labor. And if you can even find anybody to do it, and a typical shop rate at $100 an hour, it would cost a fortune to build this bike. This is basically a gift from Gary to us to resell, to raise funds for the museum and for the business expenses we have here. So hats off to Gary for giving us this bike to resell. And he wanted it to go to a good home. He knew we'd find someone who would take good care of it. So, Junior, you want to add anything about this kick-ass piece?
This thing's ridiculous. You know, in stock form, these are really more of a novelty. I don't know anyone that does more than a quick Sunday ride down to the pizza shop or to get a coffee on, around the pits. This bike is actually confidence-inspiring with that front end. And, the more I got to know it, the more I fell in love with it. And I think same with this guy here.
Yeah,
the build quality is just top. The sticky tires, I'm sure that's a bigger profile than what came on stock, that front tire, and it just hooks up. This would be fun to take around the track.
There's no doubt about it. This would have been a great bike to have down at the Barber Vintage Fest. This would have fit right in with the two-stroke class, and it really is, from a performance standpoint, it's 100% track ready. The jetting's on point, the transmission, the clutch, it'll stand right up in the first 3 gears. I didn't want to flip it over backwards, so I wasn't getting too aggressive on the wheelies. But
these pipes are ridiculous. I don't think I've ridden a 250 or a 350 S1 or S2 that didn't feel like a total dog. You know, this one is like alive.
Yeah,
this thing's alive.
It's like a small bore 500 or a big bore 250, but it's three two-stroke pistons, very simple engine, 3 carburetors, 3 exhausts. It's like basically it's like 3 125s is
Gary,
what it is.
good job, man.
Yeah, hats off, Gary. You might have seen the earlier video where he gave his description of the build, and we got it tuned, went right through it. The Wizard drained the fuel on it, cleaned out the carbs, made sure the jetting was on point, put some fresh fuel and fresh gear oil, and just went through it front to back. It's ready to go, man. And it started right up, first kick, and runs perfectly. If you're looking for a world-class cafe racer, or a timeless classic like this 3-cylinder 350 Kawasaki, look no further, man. This is as good as it gets. And I can't understate the difference that the front end makes on this thing. The performance of the front brakes are light years better. Like, you can't even compare it. It's R1 technology.
It doesn't feel like an old chassis anymore.
No, it doesn't. It really handles really well. The shocks are new. The forks have been redone. Tires are new. Brakes are new. So it's just the best handling Kawasaki triple by light years better than any H1, H2, or H3 I've ever ridden. I've ridden them all. The 250, the 350, the 400, the 500, and the 750. I've ridden them all. This one is, hats off, Gary, for having the vision to put a modern front end. That was really the limiting factor of the handling of this bike, was the front end. The frame is on point. I don't think I didn't feel any flexing in the frame, and the brakes are just fantastic. So anyways, I could ramble all day about it, but you get the idea. This is a kick-ass piece, one of a kind. You won't see another one anywhere. You're rolling to Daytona on this. This will turn heads more than any brand new bike, I can promise you that. So good luck bidding on it. Give us a call if you have any questions, and God bless America.